Okay, so in this video, I'll be talking about if-else statements in JavaScript, how we can use them, where we can use them, and all about it in this video. I am Akash, you're watching mrabouttech, and without any further ado, let's get started. If-else statements. If-else statements are also known as conditional statements. Now, conditional statement means, let's say that you have a certain condition, and if that condition is satisfied, then you have to perform a set of actions, and if that condition is not satisfied, then you have to perform some different kind of actions. To do this to do this kind of coding, you need to use if-else statements, that is the conditional statements. Alright, now there are a lot of different applications for this if-else statements, but the one application that you would also connect to and you already use in your day-to-day life is what I'm going to give you as an example here for using these conditional statements, and that is the login system. So if you visit any website and you have a login page there, right? So you give your email address and your password and you click on that login button, and yeah, you are logged in and you see the dashboard, right? So what is happening in the backend there? So there they have used the if-else statements to see if you are the correct person, if you have provided the correct credentials or not. So let's say that there is an email address that you provide and a password that you provide. So the email address and the password is checked with the data that is already stored when you registered with the website, and it is checked through if-else that if this email, this password is the correct one that they have already stored, then you would be logged in and you would see the dashboard. And if you provide a wrong email or wrong password, then it is going to show you a message that you have entered the incorrect credentials, incorrect username or password, and you would stay on that exact page and you won't be logged in. So this is a real world example of where this if-else statements are used. Alright, so now let's see how we can write a basic if-else statement in JavaScript. Alright, okay, so here I have my Visual Studio Code open, and this is the JavaScript file, and on the right side I have my browser with the console open. Okay, so now let's just write a basic if-else statement. So let's take two different variables. Let's say a is equal to 5 and let b also be 5. Alright, now we are going to write if, then circle bracket, and in the circle bracket we have to write the condition. Now I want to check if a is equal to b, so the value that is in a, if it is equal to b, then we are going to execute some statements. So here we have to provide those statements which are only going to be executed when this condition is true, this condition is satisfied. Now this is a boolean expression, that means this expression is going to give us output of value in boolean, that is true or false. So one thing that you have to remember is that whatever condition that you provide in these brackets, it should give us a boolean value, that is a true or a false. Alright, now let's write some actions that we want to perform after this condition is satisfied. So let's say that I want to print that a and b are equal. Alright, let's save this, and as you can see on this console window that it is printing A and B are equal. Now what if I change this value to 50? So there's nothing that is printed on the console. That is because this condition is now no more satisfied and we are getting a false here. So this is not going to be executed. So then if we want something else to be printed if the condition is false, then we specify the else statement, the else block. So this is a if block and this is an else block. So here let's write that A and B are not equal. Okay, so now as you can see it is now printing A and B are not equal, that is it is now executing the else block. So this is a very basic way that you can write if-else statement in JavaScript. Now there is another thing that you can do here. So let's say that you have two different conditions or more than two different conditions to check. So what will you use then? You'll have to write these if-else statements multiple times, right? So one more thing that you have been provided with is the else if statements. So in else if statements you have this same structure, but instead of just one if statement you can have another if statement written here like this, and you can have one more condition that you can specify here. Alright, so let's say that I want to check if A's value is equal to 5, then I'll be printing A is equal to 5, and if A's value is equal to 10, then I'll be just printing this message that A is equal to 10, and then here I'll just print that wrong value. Alright, it's just a simple basic example to show you how the else if statement works, so don't judge it. So here as you can see now in the output side we have A is equal to 5. So here the A's value is 5, so this statement of if is getting executed, and if I change it to 10, then in the output side as you can see now A is equal to 10. So now the first statement, that is the if statement, is not getting executed, but the else if statement is getting executed. So what is happening here is, first it is going to check that this if statement is getting satisfied or not. If this statement is true, then it is going to just print whatever is in that if block, and it is going to ignore everything else, that is the if else statement and the else statement. It is going to ignore them and it is going to just print this console log. And now if this statement is false, which is the case here, then it is going to check for another the if else condition, and here the if else condition says that if A is equal to 10, then it is going to print this, and which is what is happening here. So we have this A is equal to 10, and now let's change this value to 100. Let's save it. Now as you can see, it is showing us wrong value. So now this if statement is false, this else if statement is false as well, and so it is going on to the else statement and it is just printing out this console log. So this is how you can use the if else statement. Alright, okay, so now that you know how an if else statement works, what if I say there is a better way of writing an if else statement, and that you can write this if-else statement in a single line. Alright, so let's see how we can do it. So let's say I have this console log here. So here in this console log, I'm going to write a condition that we had written before, that is if A is equal to B, and here now I'm using triple equal to. You can of course use double equal to or triple equal to, but I had already told you the difference between those, so choose wisely. And this is just an example, so I'm just writing this A is triple equal to B. So do note that I have written these in curly brackets, and here I'm going to write a question mark, and I'll write that A is equal to B, and I'll have a space and write a column, and I'm going to specify here that A is not equal to B. That's it. You just had to write this and you have it. So as you can see here that it is saying A is not equal to B. So here if I change this to 50, now it is saying that A is equal to B. So there you have it, an if-else statement in a single line. So there you have it, if-else statement in a single line. So we have done this using the ternary operator. This question mark and the semicolon are known as the ternary operators. So with this ternary operator, we have specified this condition first, and whatever the value that we get, that is the true or false, based on that these different statements are executed. So if this condition is true, then this statement is going to be executed, else this statement is going to be executed. So there you have it, an if-else statement in a single line. So I guess that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.